How many sightings have to be reported in order for you to believe they're there? How many live news feeds have to show images of live UFOs in the night skies? How many times should we tune into another television show highlighting a sighting that thousands have witnessed? How many military, police, pilots, astronauts, and civilians have to come forward in order for you to believe? How many witnesses and people have been lied to in order to hide it? When is enough enough? Here's a few reasons why we at abstruse1nk.com consider disclosure disclosed.
A developing story right now as many of you spot a giant ball of light. There it is, zipping through our skies tonight. Everybody has their own opinion of what the heck this glow is just flying by. A UFO, a meteor, even a plane on fire. Thanks for choosing us tonight. I'm Katie Rammel.
And I'm Steve Irvin. We started getting calls on this into our newsroom shortly before 8 o'clock, dozens of them. And we've had reports this ball of light has been seen as far away as Nevada and Colorado.
So, of course, we put our crews quickly out to work to find out what exactly this is. ABC 15's Adam Slinger joins us live. And Adam, what did you find out about this?
You know, we've made calls to everyone from NASA to the National Weather Service, and right now no one seems to know exactly what it was. Now, our reporter, ABC 15's Brian McElhatton, snapped this picture for us just about 2.5 hours ago.
A little bit interesting that an ABC photographer takes the shot. Still nothing done, of course. But at least we can say he took the shot, right?
He says he saw 2 different events. Now, this is a picture of the first event. He saw this little orange dot streaking across the sky. It did not make a sound, and he says it hovered above the clouds for about 15 minutes or so before it disappeared into the atmosphere. Then, about 30 minutes later, he saw a meteorite.
And you could see pieces falling off. It almost looked like a Roman candle flying horizontally through the sky, if you're familiar with that. It blasted maybe 4 to 5 seconds.
This massive green ball shooting through the sky horizontally. And it had a big old white tail, but it was so bright and crazy and beautiful, and I couldn't believe that I was witnessing it.
Thank you very much to Sheila Aliens for that video. She does great work. Make sure that you thumbs up and subscribe to her channel, folks. Well, isn't that fantastic? ABC put up a documentation of a UFO that their photographer caught flying over top of a city. You would expect that to take on international news, I would think. I mean, it's a photographer. He should be trusted if he's working for a news network like ABC, shouldn't he? Shouldn't they go ahead and tell the world, we have proof? But they have proof and they don't care because there's a stigma attached to it, and there's always going to be a stigma attached to it until we get it done. Disclosure is disclosed. We've seen them. They're here. Next!
As this huge storm from space, and Harris, that really gives us some perspective at what we're dealing with here.
Well, and I'll tell you, Jenna, what I was able to do this morning is actually listen to the audio that is captured behind the video by NASA. And it's just typically a narration, but if you listen in detail...
Okay, watch, it's going to go from the middle of the L, right there, that panel, the solar panel. You're going to see it in the next frame. Next sequence come up, almost straight, split it straight in the middle. Here we go.
Images 230 miles from Earth was
watch this.
Spectacular. The narration from NASA scientists in the background of them, I mean, gasping for air at the size of this.
There it goes. You see that?
I'd like to say thank you to Truth Helix for uploading this video. I do think it's important that we acknowledge that that was on live television. It was picked up on live feed, so that happened. What you've seen is what was there. Even though I consider it proof enough, apparently the world doesn't. We're waiting for Obama to make some big speech. Why do you insist on thinking that the one government that's trying to cover it all up the most is going to be the one to let you know they're here? They're not going to. Thank you to Lucky Morrow for uploading that video. It's definitely a good one. I think it's interesting that they're starting to build the stadium, so I think they want us to catch on. I think they want us to see them. What do you think?
A few minutes. This lightning strike just happened a few moments ago across the skies of South Bend. Light rain is falling right now. We've been in a weather delay for about an hour and a half, so a few moments ago across the severe weather storm to come in here in just a few minutes. This lightning strike just happened a few moments ago across the skies of South Bend. Light rain is falling right now. We've been in a weather delay for about Still in this weather delay as you look at a live shot, Notre Dame Stadium, expecting the next severe weather storm to come in here in just a few minutes. This lightning strike just happened a few moments ago across the skies of South Bend. Light rain is falling right now. We've been in a
Thank you, Sheila Aliens, for uploading that video. It's definitely a cool one. Make sure to go to Sheila Aliens' channel and check her out. She does some awesome work, everybody. Aside from that, this is a cool video. I mean, we're taking a look at lightning strikes and UFOs and just a bunch of crazy shit going on. And it's all caught on live camera. And you know the best news about that is? Nothing will be done. Because nobody believes you. It's on national news, national TV. Millions worldwide have seen it now because of Sheila Aliens. And it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Thank you very much to Abstruse1NK for putting up that amazing video. He's the coolest guy ever. And I want to make sure that you all subscribe, or else I'll tell them where you live. And they might come get you. I'm not saying they will. It's not a threat. But they might.
The United States forces, in cooperation with the extraterrestrials, had developed both zero-point energy and cold fusion. And these are the things people have been searching for forever. It's sort of like making gold out of lead, which I'm told they can do now too if they want to. So it's there, and even if it isn't, from what I know of the extraterrestrials, secondhand, from people who have talked to them and visited them and been abducted by them, they want us to save our planet. They would give it to us if the United States Air Force would stop shooting at them. But we've got to persuade the Americans that we don't want a world where somebody's got to master the world by armed force. We want a world where we change our priorities and get rid of these huge defense expenditures and use the money to provide food and shelter and education and clothing for people that don't have any. A different kind of world altogether than what we've had. And that they shouldn't take the extraterrestrials on for size, which they seem determined to do. But this is an interesting point. General Eisenhower said, beware of the industrial military complex. What he was really referring to was the fact that he had lost control of ET File. Nelson Rockefeller, it's an interesting name, he had hired him to work out who would run the thing. And a lot of the responsibility was turned over to private enterprise. So that the government of the United States has lost control of a whole pile of stuff that's going on out there. The President of the United States doesn't even know what's going on out there. And if he wanted to know, they would just say, Mr. President, you don't have clearance for that project. This is, what it is. But getting back to the point, either the technology exists, which I believe, or they would give it to us if we treat them like friendly neighbors and collaborators in the cosmos instead of as enemies.
Paul Hellyer is the former Defense Minister of Canada. Nick Pope is the former Defense Minister of Great Britain. Both have came forward openly admitting and declaring that UFOs do exist. That they've always existed. And that we have been in contact. But until militaries like the US government stop shooting them down, it's going to be hard for them to make their presence known. I just hope the Americans learn not to shoot before they learn to shoot back. Don't wait for a government that's never going to come clean. Disclosure has already been disclosed. Just open your eyes and see it and accept it.